What's up? So how do I feel about talk about Jalen Brunson being the greatest New York Knick ever? I say pump the brakes. He's clutch, He comes up big. But to say the greatest New York Knicks ever is a disrespect to guys who've already run, like Walt Clyde Frazier, like Earl of Pearl Monroe, like Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley. That's five right there. And if I want to throw in other guys who have a strong case, Patrick Ewing got a strong argument. He sure does. You know, you look at careers. You know, I'll say this: he got a chance to be top five. If he leads them all away, he definitely top 4 or 5. I'll give you that. But to say he's the greatest already is an insult. Because a guy like Bernard King, if you weren't aware of Bernard King, then you missing out. You saying some pretty heavy stuff. And the sad part is that for the rings that they won, the success the Knicks had, it's been so long since they won. They did lose the finals to Houston and San Antonio. So it's not like they haven't had a run at finals and had success. But it acts like they didn't have any players of stature that somebody can come along pretty much off the street and we can get goaded. I mean, I just don't quite feel that way. And I like JB a lot. He's a hard-working player. He's one of those kind of guys that he just keeps coming at you and keeps coming at you. You know, he's in a interesting way. He's got the kind of workmanship as a starter, kind of like what might have been my new Ginobili may have been like. If Ginobili had played all his career as a starter, this is just what he may have been like. Because I think Ginobili would have led the team. He'd have been frustrating. Except I think Ginobili had even more gears than Brunson. Brunson can shoot that thing and can spin you and forces you to call fouls, but he's not as what's the word I want to use? He doesn't quite get under your skin the way Ginobili did. That's the only difference. But he kind of reminds me of a little bit, the style and the movement. But having said all that, though, no, he's not the greatest New York. And people are such prisoners of the moment. They get so hyped. You got to put the work in. But if he wins a chip, that's an interesting debate. That's an interesting debate. Because you'd be hard pressed to find a Knick who was an MVP in recent memory. And plus the way he came over, he's 28. Figure he wins a ring and he stays in New York for 4 or 5 more years, he will definitely be in the mentions. He will definitely be in the hierarchy mentions with the best of the Knicks. So that's something to think about. But to say that he's the greatest Knick already, no. People be prisoners of the moments. He's clutch. Even though, when people throw that word around, I'm thinking, who would I put